Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to study the next topic, management as science, or we can say that nature of management. So when we ask the question, what is the nature of management? There is always a confusion among the different scholars that some people they say that management is a science, some are they saying that management is an art, some they say that it is a profession. So different type of opinions are there. Okay. So, but if you have to understand what is the clear nature of management, we can say we have to understand what is science and what is art, and after that we have to test whether all the features of science is applicable in case of management or not. Okay. So the first we have to study is about management as a science. Okay. So whether we are going to study whether management is a science or not. So in order to understand that whether management is a science or not, we have understood what is management. Now we don't know what is the science. Okay. So we have to understand what is the science. Okay. Science is a systematic body of knowledge. Okay. So scientific, we have studied that there are so many scientific principles, and science, we have heard about science. So when you are asking your friends, are there, so like in 10th class when you are choosing, then they say that some students they choose science, physics, chemistry, biology, maths, all these things are there. So all these are connected with the science. Okay. So what is the speciality of science? Now let us discuss. Okay. Meaning of science. Science refers to that systematic body of knowledge which is acquired on the basis of observation and experiments, and verification of this knowledge is possible. For example, a person completes his studies of engineering. During the course of his study, he gets a complete theoretical knowledge of the subject. His acquiring of knowledge is in the manner is a science. So science is a systematical body of knowledge, and it is developed through experiments. Okay, so experiments and practice. So lot amount of experiments have been completed, done, and after that the scientific principles have been developed. So like we have already heard about like this coronavirus is there, and at that time coronavirus situation was there also. At that time there was a vaccine. Now we have created a vaccine. So how this vaccine came into existence? So for developing this vaccine, so what they have to do is that they conduct a lot amount of studies. So these doctors are there, scientists are there, they have conducted a lot amount of studies. They have used their theoretical knowledge, their practical knowledge, all the knowledge they have used for the purpose of developing these principles or developing the vaccine. Okay, and after making a vaccine, so once we developed a vaccine, suddenly it is not start injecting. What they do a lot amount of experiments. They first test on animals. They after that test on some people, those who are healthy. So they see like some rat and all will be there. They inject and see whether what changes are there. After that they try it on monkeys and all. So they train these monkeys and all for the purpose of testing. And after this conducting all the tests, and after that if all the things are going smoothly, then after that they go to the second level. So they test on some human beings. So some people, so they conduct a test. So people they take the permission from the people for conducting test. So once if you are injecting, then they give the insurance and so on, and give a test. So once if the test is conducted, then after that they will keep them in observation. So they will test it. Even if when you are going for taking a vaccine, they tell us to be in observation for half an hour, and they will 2 or 3 days we have to be in a very we have to take rest properly, and after that only this thing will be there. And also there is a sufficient time required. So like once vaccine is taken, some around 28 days have to be waited. Then next dose of this one will be injected. Then after that, so there are so many procedures are there, so many experiments are there, so many practices are required for developing these scientific principles. Okay. So now let us discuss about what are the characteristics of science. There are basically 3 characteristics of science. That is, it is a systematized body of knowledge, principles based on experiments and experimentation, and universal validity. So these 3 are the basic characteristics of science. So these scientific principles are systematized body of knowledge. So there is a proper system, there is a proper method. Okay. And second one, these scientific principles are developed based on the experimentation. Lot amount of experiments have been done, and after that this will be developed. And after that, it's like universal validity. Like once if vaccine is created, so do you know, like we have developed, India has developed a vaccine, and we are distributing into different parts of the world. You know, so this once if the vaccine is developed, it can be used anywhere. You know, the scientific principles are like that. So once a medicine is found, so this medicine can be used at any different place. So there may be slightly differences, but the treatment that they are using or the medicines that they are using will be somewhat similar. So it can be used. Universal validity is there, universal applicability. Anywhere you can use this one. So that is another speciality of this. Now let us test whether these principles are matching with the management principles or not. Okay, so first we have to test the first characteristic, systematized body of knowledge. It is necessary for science to be systematized body of knowledge. Management is also a systematized body of knowledge because it has its own theory and principles which are developed by the management experts after years of research. So we know that we have now we are going to study about many of the things, like we have principles are there, scientific management principles are there, management principles are there, developed by Henry Fayol or F.W. Taylor. So different experts have developed a lot amount of principles, and we have systematic theories, theoretical knowledge is there, or a proper amount of studies can be done. So like you are studying, like if you study, like now you are studying +2 commerce, and after that you will go for a BCom, and after that you can go for MCom, after that you can do PhD, doctorate, whatever may be there, you can keep on studying. If you do like BBA, then MBA, then again you can do PhD or doctorate or whatever may be. So every line of studies is possible. So you can continue your studies, and there is a systematic body of knowledge. If you want to refer any kind of problems and so on, there are so many books are available, so many experts are there, so all these type of things are there. So we can say that management is also a systematized body of knowledge. But next principle, like principles based on experimentation. After applying the characteristics of science to management, we find that development of management took years for the collection of facts, their analysis and experiments. In other words, management came into existence because of the continuous and encouraging labor of theorists and various people concerned. Okay, so this is also somewhat similar. We know, like we have studied the short amount of like principles in the management are also not made just as incidentally. It is not. So these principles also have been made by doing lot amount of experiments. Years of experiments have been conducted. Okay, so they will test it on one company, they will test it on some small company, they will test it on a medium company, they will test it on big company. So such different activities have been performed and developed the principles of management also. So they are also somewhat similar to the science. The next we can say is the universal validity, whether these principles are universally applicable or not. Scientific principles are based on truth and they can be applied at every time and in every situation. Thus, it is universal applicable is possible. In the field of management too, managerial knowledge and principles of management are considered to be based on truth and they too can be applied anywhere in every situation. But the principles of management are not as exact as the principles of science, as their application may not yield the desired results always. There is a slight problem. See, like if scientific principles are there, one principle, like imagine that if ice is heated, it will become water, and if it is again heated, it will become water vapor. So this is a normal phenomena, and this is the theory that is developed by science. And if you do this one in India, or if you do it in Pakistan, or if you do it in America, or England, or anywhere in the world, or any situation, if you do this, if you heat ice, it will melt. There is no any question of that, or if any doubt is not. Okay. But a management principle, it cannot be 100% accurately, cannot be used in every place. So if you see, for example, we are dealing with not with materials. Like in science, we are dealing with materials. Like ice is a material, water is a material. So these are the like some acids are there, all these things. But we are dealing with the human beings. You cannot put a human being into a test tube and pour some acids and all, and experiments cannot be done. So it is about human brain. We are dealing with human being. So in an organization, if we have to do an experiment, you cannot take a human being and put it into a test tube and conduct a test. In an organization, we cannot take a person, a human being, and put him into the test tube and conduct a test. Is not possible. Okay, so in science we can do this type of experiments. We can do the test on maybe some animals and maybe. So the principle which we are going to apply, we cannot call some monkeys and sit on an organization and do the test. It's not possible. Okay, so we are dealing with human beings. We are all human brains are there in an organization. There are employees are there, the managers are there. The managers are applying the principles on human beings. So if there are 10 people, imagine that in our classroom, if there are 25 students, if I give you an exercise and I tell you to do the work in your own interest or your own likes and dislikes, 25 of you will do 25 different ways. Okay, until and unless I give you proper information, what you have to mention. Like if I am giving you a project and I tell you to do, then what you will do? You will do in your own way. But most of the time what happens is that you copy from other person, so this will be there. But if I give you a individual, so like each individual is given a separate room and a question is given and tell you to prepare a project, then what will happen? Every one of you will do it in a different ways. It will not be similar. Okay. If I use a principle, the result of that will be different, not the same. So that is a problem with the management. And if imagine that, like if in India, if we are using a principle and the same principle cannot be used in America, okay, or the same principle cannot be used in Dubai, okay, so different places are there. They are different principles has to be used and different ways it has to be done. Okay, so that is the difference between the management principle and the scientific principles. So as a conclusion, we can say that the management cannot be treated as a perfect science, but its principles are subject to change with time, situation and human nature. It is better to call it applied science instead of calling it as a pure science. We can call it as a applied science or inexact science. So there are two other names used as for. You cannot call it as pure science. Exactly all the features of science is not possible in case of management, but to some extent it is there. So we cannot call it as a pure science. It can be called as a applied science or a inexact science. Ernest Dale has called management a soft science because its principles are not very rigid. So scientific principles are very much strict and rigid, but the principles of management are not that much rigid. So it is flexible. So you can make changes according to the situations. In one situation, one principle can be used, and in another situation, the same principles can be used in another way. But scientific principles cannot be used in that way. So it will not be changed. You cannot change the principles that are there. So once a rule is made, once a principle is made, that will be applicable all throughout the world in the same way. So that is the speciality of scientific principles. So we can call it as inexact science or applied science. Okay. So that is about the management as science. Remaining portion we study in the next class. Thank you so much.